The living intelligence creates the constant flow of self-regeneration and evolution of the whole web of life. And constantly it reveals itself when something arises and comes to light in the life of the cosmos, of nature, of any cell, of any wave of the ocean of existence, and in our life itself, while everything is interconnected. The living intelligence is visible in the ineffable, which constantly emerges in front of our eyes and within us, in our wandering, in our intuiting. In fact, the living intelligence dialogues with us, and we will explore and experience it so that the spark of a new awareness ignites the great upshift for a new vital and human evolution, a new human evolution on Earth. How can be today the vital change for the evolution of humanity? We recognize the highest existing technology, the living being. The future begins now. It starts from within us. In symphony and resonance with our deepest sense of life, the life which we are. Since always, the intelligence inherent in life constantly regenerates life. Intuition and sentience for a surprising new perceiving and understanding. Towards dialogues and answers which open us to life and co-creation, with actions which don't ask energy from us, but which offer us energy. We have many native languages, but one only human language. We are one only humanity. I'm the founder of the Consciousness Institute with Roma Calzaferri in Lugano, Switzerland. And our programs are based on 40 years of my research in human sciences, on the nature of intuition and the process of creation, where human beings are creators of life and creatures of life. Welcome everybody to this international online meeting dedicated to the living intelligence. I am Anna Bacchia, author of this project, Living Intelligence, and I'm the founder and president of the Consciousness Institute in Lugano, Switzerland. I am a researcher in cognitive and human sciences, and I've dedicated my life to the exploration and to the experience about the nature of the intuitive and cognitive processes and creative processes. Today with me is the architect Roman Calzaferri, co-initiator of the Living Intelligence Project and co-founder of the Consciousness Institute. We have the great honor to announce that the first honorary signatory of the Living Intelligence Project is Professor Erwin Laszlo, twice nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize, Professor Lazo will be with us in the next meeting on the living intelligence. The theme of today, the living intelligence and our intuitive intelligence, is humongous and involves the nature of the whole life. Thus, this meeting offers a first synthesis, which will be developed in further appointments, given that we have created a project, the Living Intelligence Project, in order to offer a pathway of an expanded exploration and recognition about the living intelligence and about our experience and dialogue with the living intelligence, where we become intuitive and creative instruments of the symphony of evolution. Co-author of this project with me and Roma Calzaferri are Enrica Bacchia, our artistic consultant, which is with us today, and Dr. Paolo Renati, PhD in physics and of complex systems, who will be with us in the next meetings. The project is supported by eminent signatory partners as Professor Reverend Laszlo, the Goi Peace Foundation in Tokyo, Japan, with Mrs. Masami Sayonji and Mr. Hiro Sayonji, the Living Peace International, and the grandest foundation for peace on earth, Dr. Carlos Palma, which is the initiator of the Living Peace, in which we have the honor to welcome with us today online. The World Water Community, with Dr. Evelyn van den Kratz, Istituto Antacarana, São Paulo, Brazil, with Dr. Simon Ramonulu, Dr. Daniela Rossi, member of the UNIPAS Brazil, Italian Association for Evolutionary Disciplines, AIDE, with Dr. Massimiliano Babush, and Holistic Map, Dr. Davide Monguzzi, who is also with us today. Since now, we invite you to the next meetings, which will be held on June 15th and in April 25th, where the living intelligence will be invited by Ubiquity University. While today we face the strong impact and rapid development of digital technologies and artificial intelligence, we contemplate the living intelligence, the intelligence which is inherent in the living realm and in the natural evolutionary flow of self-regeneration of life, which emerges as a self-updating web of sensitive, vital responses, qualities, and information. The Living Intelligence Project is dedicated to discover specifically the extraordinary dialogue of us human beings with the intelligence inherent in life and in our life, together with the unexplored human understanding and knowledge which emerge from our sensitive approach to such dialogue, where we are opened both to a wider and higher thinking and to co-create a great evolutionary upshift. But before deepening such exploration, I give now the floor to architect Roman Calzaferri for a short introduction on what is the artificial intelligence.
Hello, everybody. I'm Roman Calzaferri. I'm an architect, and I also have a background in computer sciences and mathematics. So I just want to take a few minutes to make together some observations about what is artificial intelligence, and especially what is meant by intelligence in the word artificial intelligence. And then also we can see how we can distinguish the images or texts or movies which we have already seen probably in the count by artificial intelligence, how we can distinguish those from the products of a human being. So if you speak about artificial intelligence, very simply put, we can distinguish two components. We have computer system that has processed a vast amount of data, and really imagine the largest library that you know, and then multiply this by 1,000, and you have a sort of database, immense database, much bigger than a human being in its life, or in 1,000 lives could process. And you have the possibility to access all this data at a very high speed. So, for example, ChatGPT or a Copilot or so, they have stored hundreds of billions of words, or other systems have stored millions of images. And the second component is that through a very easy interface, which anybody of us can use, we can access that database and create new contents. And we will see something more about this in a moment, but it's important to know that we don't have to be specialists, which is why we will be flooded in the near future with texts and images and movies about which were made by artificial intelligence. Just to illustrate the power of this, as well as the issues which it can give, let's see together a short movie.
Shalom. Nuridu salam.
Eu quero paz.
Kami hoyong katentreman.
Paz. 我们要和平。
Shanti.
Salam.
Queremos paz. Я хочу мира. Ми хочемо миру. نونوري السلام. I want peace.
Sol. Sol.
Nataka amani. Urida salama.
Pelumeirini. Gusto namin ng kapayapaan.
Frieda.
Paz, por favor.
So, I just like to ask you, with what kind of feeling does this images leave you? Just ask yourself a moment inside you, beyond what we can think about it or what it can transmit with words. And of course, this movie is the result of pure calculation. None of these kids exist. Somebody has imagined them, but instead of traveling around the earth and taking a movie camera and going to really interview these kids, somebody has passed 2 or 3 days in front of a computer and has created it. And this is a situation with which probably all of us will be faced sooner or later if we have a professional activity. Because if we have a new project, we can imagine either to spend time, spend money, spend resources, and create it with a camera, or write it, or go research in a library, or to sit in front of the computer and have artificial intelligence create it for us. And our partner and colleague, he brought this example some days ago, that he's working with the editor on a cover image for a book. And the editor has created already 10 or 15 different versions of the cover with artificial intelligence, but it does not really transmit something. There's no empathy. So there's something in us that really can notice that, oh, it's all product of calculation. And with this, I wish to pass to what is intended by intelligence, by the creators of artificial intelligence. And there's one of the founding fathers of AI, which is John McCarthy, has given this sort of definition, where he says, intelligence is the computational part of the ability to achieve goals in the world. So it's about computation and it's about goals. But this is very different from how anybody of us would define intelligence. And there can be many definitions. I just took a short look at the Wikipedia. So we have the capacity in intelligence, we have the capacity for abstraction, logic, understanding, self-awareness, learning, emotional knowledge, reasoning, planning, creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, and the ability to perceive or infer information and to retain it as knowledge to be applied afterwards. And of course, we could add things or discuss about this, but for sure it's very different from the definition by McCarthy. And also, if you hear people say things like in 2 or 3 years, AI will be 3,000 to 5,000 times more intelligent than human being, we have to know that with intelligence, it's really meant the computational part of the ability to achieve goals. Because it's, if we take a system like ChatGPT and we compare what it would answer compared to a human being, if we have a human being, rather whether it's a child or an adult or a biologist, and we ask them, what is a tree? Everybody has an experience of this, maybe has made some studies, which when we think about the tree, we have a complex image in our mind. We really have a, and then it's connected to many other layers, which we'll see afterwards. And so from this whole, we get to a verbal description. And instead, ChatGPT, it makes a statistical calculation and it gets these words, what is a tree? And it calculates what is the next probability that a certain word could appear. So it really goes linearly forward without ever having a notion or a concept or an image or an experience. And the question now is, once we have AIs, a world of AIs, and I just want to make a short example to see that we really have an innate ability to immediately distinguish the creations of AI from the creations of human being, although we might not be aware of such ability of ours, and we probably never have trained to use it. And I just propose a short exercise for you where we can see 6 images. 3 of these are created by artificial intelligence, and 3 are photographs of real persons. And just look at them a moment and connect to maybe not just your thought level, but your inner sense of what is a human being. And from there, try to see which one could be made of AI by AI and which one could be the photo. And in a few seconds, I will just show you which one is which, and then we pass on to see something more with Anna about the theme of this meeting. So these 3 images are made by AI, and these 3 are made by our photos of real persons. And this is something we could expand, and we will also elaborate on in further meetings. This is, with this I finish this short introduction about artificial intelligence, and I pass again to Anna to carry on. Thank you to everybody.
Thank you, Roman Calzaferri, for his intervention. And now let's go on with the focus of our theme of today, while observing that the awareness of living intelligence requests a clear vision about the essence of life and about the necessity of recognizing the substantial distinction between the objective description and definition of reality, or map, to which rational knowledge and scientific method are still confined, and the unrepeatable sensitive experience of reality, territory, which is an experience interwoven with our natural perception and our deep sense of life. In the currently prevailing substitution of territory with map, we face analysis and diagnosis which reflect a rational and logic mind frame, but are dangerously detached from the essential and unmeasurable dynamic inputs of life. Inputs that are aesthetic, perceptive, synchronic, sources of syntony and of an eloquent, vital coherence. Such vision and awareness imply an existential upshift which allows us to recognize the essential importance of our unrepeatable, sensitive experience of reality, and to recognize our deepest interrelation with the collective unconscious, which connects us to our deep sense of being human, which give rise to enlightening and unexplored intuitive insights in, and to an extraordinary sensitive intuitive understanding arising from the resonances interwoven in our interrelations. All the aspects which we are going to see today are expression and eloquent manifestation of the living intelligence inherent in our life. In human evolution, human being has passed from the pre-verbal age to the verbal age of logic, in which man is informed by pre-existing thoughts and models. Today, we are living the passage from the age of logic to the age of an analogic intuitive wisdom and aware dialogue with the living intelligence. In such age of analogic intuitive wisdom, man is informed by life through an unexplored intuitive information to which he can give form of works coherent with life and with the living intelligence. And in such process, as you are going to see, we can become instruments of the symphony of evolution. In the 20th century, the most extraordinary scientists who were exploring the nature of life, in their letters to each other, they wrote, "The whole vision of the world is now radically different than what we have thought until now. The ground of our current way of conceiving reality has completely been shaken, as if the foundations of our thinking have been pulled out from under one, together with our concepts of objects, of time, of space, of matter, of separate items. Now, after these initial fundamental discoveries, today we know that according to the most advanced perspectives stated in physics, in quantum field theory, and grasped by the most ancient wisdom traditions, the nature of life is vacuum, which emerges into the local or space-time dimensions in which we live, in form of waves, of frequencies, of information, an ocean of information and waves in which we are immersed and of which we are made. we constantly can vibrate in an oscillatory state in which we configure ourselves, that is, we can have a given oscillatory configuration capable of resonating with oscillatory patterns that also are distributed in the vacuum. Today, we can be aware that in this dialogue of resonance, our oscillatory configuration is able to engender infinite transformation in the whole field of existence. Under other points of view, and connected to the unified vision of quantum reality, today we usually can even read, everything is an infinite undivided extension of everything else. Dividing reality into parts and then giving a name to such parts is always arbitrary. Behind appearances is concealed the whole. Such vision and awareness imply an existential upshift as necessary today as ever, which allows us to recognize oneness in diversity, which can be metaphorically expressed even in the perspective that we have many native languages, but one only human language, the language of life, the language of living intelligence, which is constantly engendering the evolution of the living reality and of living beings. But let's see something about this. When we are a few months old, our dad is holding us in his arms. We get close to a grand open window, and there is a small bird on the window sill. As we proceed closer and closer to it, all of a sudden, the bird flies away. What? How is it possible? Something falls up. I've tried with everything, glasses, plates, food, water, paper, soup, and everything goes always in one direction, down. How is it possible? It has fallen up. I look at my dad, but he's quiet, smiling. So, I have not seen everything in this world where I am now. This world hides things that I have not seen yet. Wait, where are them? Where? But, all of a sudden, Daddy is inviting me and says, it is a bird. Try to say, bird. And from that moment, always invite me to repeat sounds which freeze the awe, the surprises, the wherever, the wandering, the hidden. And we, with such sounds and words, are invited to freeze reality into separate parts and to identify with words our experiences, so that we risk to confuse our experiences with our description of them, to confuse our journey with the photos of them. With words, we are invited to freeze the absolutely unrepeatable, undescribable, undefinable, unmeasurable, ineffable of our experiences, and the extraordinary eloquence, inspiration, color, orientation, voice, music, sound emerging from the constant, ever-changing flow of our experiences. But such flow doesn't stop. Never. It is the language of life, the voice, the sound of the living intelligence. The wind which orients our navigation of existence, and the sound to which we resound, we resonate always, not only in our childhood, in every age of our life, we resonate it. Even if we speak and identify our experiences with words, definitions, with logic, linear, causal, dual, and even if we conceive the world as divided into separate parts. In a metaphor, the language of life, the language of the living intelligence, is like that ray of light which touches the eye. Once upon a time, the earth was silent and teeming with cells. One morning, at dawn, something extraordinary happened. For the first time, one cell answered to the touch of a ray of light, and it pulsed to its touch, like this. And there, the eye was born. In fact, the fundamental quality, constant quality of the dialogue between the intelligence of life and living beings since always is sensibility. The capability to be touched, transformed, to follow and to answer coherently to any touch of life. And the place, let's say, where we are touched by life is contemplation. Such contemplation is not reachable, is already here. It doesn't know any measure or definition. It is unrepeatable. It does not involve will or time. It is not meditation. We can contemplate even a flash of a lightning in the night or an avalanche of ice, an invisible rumble. But contemplation is not created by us. It creates us. In such a place, always present in us, an unlimited innate knowledge and understanding are activated in us, unique, expanded, unexplored, connected to the collective human unconscious, and thus independent from the culture or from the pre-acquired models. Rather, it is an innate understanding, wide and clear, deeply interwoven with our deep sense of being human. It is connected to our natural attitude to be sensitively surprised by the always eloquent and unique experience of our reality, which, like a river, reveals itself as unrepeatable in its flow. There is an invisible which ignites our deepest understanding, an invisible which is inscribed within the visible events. It is grasped by our collective unconscious, and it is revealed only by the resonance inherent, the experience of being human. Let's see such invisible, which is inscribed within the visible. Let's see some images.
दिया ए माता ए मारे बाजे दी नहीं नहीं है बल मेल मारी माता डी तू कालू डोई डूंगरी जोई
The knowledge and understanding connected to the invisible, which is inscribed within the visible, revealed only by the resonance inherent the experience of being human, brings us to the words of Dr. Paolo Renati in his essay, Physical Analogical Foundation of Conscious Reality, when he reminds us that a full knowledge is not that of rational detachment, but rather an aesthetic experience of resonance between the oscillator subject and object, observer and observed, a transfusion and a recomposition between the two which are no longer two. They form a unique dynamic entity, where a true knowledge and understanding can be attained. It is resonance and contemplation. In fact, only by resonating in phase with a system, we can truly experience such knowledge, knowing and feeling what measurement could never deliver. Touched by a ray of light, the eye creates a response, which is perfectly coherent with the quality, with the intensity, with the frequency of the light by which it is touched. Such coherence is natural, is innate within the living realm, within life. This involves the natural and innate responsibility or ability to give responses coherent with the inputs, the information, frequencies by which the living beings are touched. We can become aware that it is a sensitive interrelation and response of ours to life, which can involve such coherence and innate responsibility. As we have lived in our childhood, in the experience of a sensitive interrelation of ours with life, this process to be touched, to resound, to be transformed by an information emerging from the life, gives rise to the most natural sense of human wonder. One of the most fundamental keys of both our intuitive approach with life and our dialogue with the living intelligence. In fact, in the book of Marco Bersanelli, professor of astrophysics at the University of Milano and member of the European Space Agency, in his book From Galileo to Gell-Mann, he underlines the words of the greatest scientists and artists of every age who recognized that intuition and intuitive certainty constitutes the most fundamental form of knowledge on the basis of which all subsequent rational investigation proceeds. And in my book, in Our Intuition Which Transforms and Creates, I write, our vibrant attitude of wonder, nourished by our sensitive perception, flows into the great ocean of vital autopoiesis while radiating a wave, an oscillatory configuration. This wave evokes a resonance from the field of existence, a kind of response wave, and such response is expressed by the intuition which we receive. In this regard, in the words of eminent scientists and artists of all times, we found the binomial wonder and knowledge, where the human wonder somehow recalls the intuitive knowledge. At the Fermilab, one of the major research centers for physics, I met the Nobel laureate in physics, Leon Lederman. And he clearly shared with me his experience of wonder and intuitive knowledge, where his wonder brought him to intuitively see the bottom quark before discovering it. The expressions and experiences of wonder as source of intuitive knowledge, shared and stated by scientists, artists of all times, always constitute the source of enlightened intuitive information from which we all can be informed, always, and to which we are called to give form. So we are informed and we are called to give form of new solutions, of new discoveries, of new answers, of new creations, as the creation of a new article of ours, of a new project, of new perspectives which we can suggest and bring. And in such intuitive process of dialogue and resonance between man and the whole field of existence, such creations do not request energy from us, but offer energy to us. So, what if we constantly follow the intuitive information emerging from the field of existence and spontaneously are oriented by it? What if we sentiently grasp its insights and creative energy, in tune with the reality of every living being, within the natural coherence and evolution of the whole web of life? Constantly, life manifests itself as that ray of light which reaches our eye, while the living intelligence radiates its eloquence, by which we can both be touched and be transformed, and constantly be enlightened and oriented if we are not blocked within the linearity of the logical definitions and descriptions of our experiences, of our memories, and of our ideas. In an essential distinction between the description of reality and the unrepeatable sensitive experience of reality itself. While, for example, we read the concept that we are oneness in diversity. Now the question is, do I know this concept or I am this? I embrace this concept, I agree with it, or I am. I live this experience. I experience this and I manifest this in my life. Can I be touched? Can I be transformed? Can I be surprised? Can I wonder and be informed by the constant wind of information? Can I be really constantly? Allow me to be oriented by it. Are we really ready for the vision of the nature of reality which we have read before, where we read that the foundation of our thinking have been pulled out from under one, together with our concepts of objects, of time, of space, of matter, separate items? Are we really ready to this experience? Are we really ready to experience an analogic approach to life, where we don't confuse any longer the definition of our experiences with our experiences themselves, and where we consciously experience the primacy of interrelation with respect to the entities in a reality where everything is interconnected and we are not separated from the others. We are not other from the others, from our interlocutors, not other from the allness. Today, we even can be aware that each thought of ours can bring us to vibrate in an oscillatory configuration, while each thought of ours, as for instance a thought of fear, engenders infinite molecules of neurotransmitters with a transformation of, let's say, non-matter thought into matter, the neurotransmitter. And a neurotransmitter, a chemical material entity, springs into existence at the touch of a thought. But where does a thought spring from? Asks Dr. Deepak Chopra and observes in this book. In such a way, a thought of fear instantly informs 50 trillion cells of our body, and in each cell of our body, we can find the information of our fear. At the same time, each thought of ours can bring us to vibrate in an oscillatory configuration capable of resonating with oscillatory patterns that are distributed in the vacuum. And in such dialogue of resonance, our oscillatory configuration are capable to engender infinite transformations in the whole field of existence. Thus, the question is, what kind of thoughts are creating us? With the consciousness of our dialogue with the living intelligence inherent in our life and in life in general, with the consciousness of such dialogue, are we really ready to co-create the great upshift from the age of verbality and rational definition to the age of a new intuitive wisdom, a wisdom which is constantly fostered by the eloquence of phenomena which life constantly offers us? And about this let's see something we have a project which is named One Earth Choir. And One Earth Choir is created by persons, not only by singing persons, but persons from all over the earth who share the theme. We have many native languages, but one only, human language. A language inherent in a language of life. The symbol of our common human language in this project is a music. Music is a symbol of our human language. A music which the participants share and listen on the same day, at the same hour on Earth, while Professor Reverend Laszlo symbolically conducts the choir of our humanity on Earth. When 3 million persons share in symphony and resonance such symbol of our common humanity, which is inherent in the music of One Earth Choir, the water of the earth responds to such music. Let's see how the water responds. Facing such ineffable eloquence, which life offers us, and life constantly, every instant, reveals the grandiosity of her manifestations. We can recognize that in any expression of the world around us, we constantly can face and be touched by the humongous, astonishing revelation offered to us by the living intelligence. And in such context, this year, thanks to the new technology of transmission of information through light, developed by the young researcher Alessandro Pasquali, this year, on the One Earth Choir Day, we have launched the music of One Earth Choir, which narrates our humanity as one on Earth, and conducted by Professor Reverend Laszlo. We have launched such music towards the galaxies, riding a beam of light. The symbol of our humanity on Earth is now traveling at the speed of light through the cosmos. Let's see some images. So, in synchrony with all the pathways which we have explored today, while we faced even how the water of the earth responds to our resonant music, which sounds the living symphony of our humanity. Now the question is, what does the symbol of our humanity as one, such resonant symphony, which we constantly can co-create, what does it generate in the cosmos, in the whole field of existence? With such open questions, since now we wait for you to continue together the pathway of the Living Intelligence Project and the infinite aspects and eloquence of the living intelligence. So I remind you that the next meeting will be on June 15th and on April 25th, in a meeting where the Living Intelligence Project will be invited by the Ubiquity University. So thank you for your participation today. And with a sensitive experience in synchrony within each of our interrelations, let us express our being instruments of the symphony of life.